Welcome back to the Prez Podcast. I'm your host, the Prez, and as always, my co-host here is Kian. What an eventful wildcard weekend. We won't break down all the games, but some interesting results. Dallas, what happened? And you decided to keep Mike McCarthy? Does Jerry Jones want to win a Super Bowl? I don't know if he does. I think he just likes the Cowboys just staying relevant enough for him to get TV time. Anyway, uh, we both went 3-3. We picked a lot of games differently, and somehow we ended up with the same record. Pretty interesting weekend. I'm excited for the divisional round, maybe the best weekend in football. I mean, the conference championship weekend is great, and of course the Super Bowl as well. But we got four great games, four good matchups. Here we are to give you our predictions. Let's start off Saturday. Houston with a dominating win over Cleveland, facing arguably the best team in football, especially down the stretch, the Baltimore Ravens. This is a big, big game for Lamar. And everyone's asking, wow, the big game for Lamar. He's had a great year. Well, he just hasn't proven it in the playoffs. Hasn't been to a conference championship game. Hasn't been close to sniffing a Super Bowl, even though he's had some winning records. This is the second time as a one seed, remember. And so really, really needs a good playoff showing to cement his legacy. On his way maybe to a second MVP. Be interesting to be his two-time MVP without reaching any conference championship game. So a lot legacy wise riding on this for Lamar. A lot legacy riding on this for John Harbaugh. Wins a second Super Bowl. You're in Cooperstown. Not Cooperstown. That's for baseball. In Canton. Uh, that's for football. So we'll see what happens in this game. I think Houston's a great story. I think they're really building things there. I think they're going to rule the AFC South for a little while. I think Tennessee's going to fall off. I don't think the Jaguars have it, and the Colts are still building. So things are pointing in the right direction. And a big home win, I just don't think they can do it against the Ravens. I think the Texans will play good early, but the Ravens will find their stride. I think they'll find creative ways to put pressure on CJ Stroud and cause him to be able to make maybe some mistakes or more difficult throws, even though he's pretty good at those. Uh, I think the Ravens win this game. Give me Baltimore 30, Houston 20.
I don't think that any of these games will be huge blowouts. I do think there will definitely be some two-score games, maybe three-score games. Um, but I do think Baltimore is the better team, and there is a lot on this game. Houston has been playing well, but I don't think Baltimore's um, going to end up losing this one. I think they are going to play well. I don't think they're going to mess up, and I think they will take this game and get to the conference championship.
Okay, starting off on the good foot this time. Not disagreeing right off the bat. All right, next up, the other upstart team, first seven seed ever to win a playoff game, the Green Bay Packers traveling to San Francisco to face the 49ers. A team that many predicted would be in the spot, many predicted will have a chance to go back to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy healthy. He did have a battle with a couple stingers. He's had some time to heal. He needs to stay healthy. We know what happened to him in the NFC Championship game. Big game for him. And, the Packers have nothing to lose. They have already exceeded expectations. They are on the right track. They are been well documented. They are the youngest team in the NFL, especially in a lot of positions. They're going to be good for the foreseeable future if Jordan Love keeps playing like this. I just don't think they can compete with San Francisco. More importantly, I don't think they can stop Christian McCaffrey. I expect them to have a big game, and I think San Francisco wins by double digits. Give me the 49ers, even though I do think Jordan Love plays decently well. I just don't think they can compete with San Francisco's run game. I like the 49ers.
Yeah. Although the Packers did beat the Cowboys, I just don't think it's the same situation. I think that San Francisco is just too good of a team. I think they're not going to mess up. They're just going to consistently just their offense is going to just score and just slowly wind the clock down, and their defense is going to do enough. And I don't think the Packers will be able to win this one.
Okay. Next up, Sunday's games. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Detroit Lions. The Lions get their second home playoff game in a row. What a great story for Detroit. And what a great story for Baker Mayfield winning the division. He's playing on his fourth team in the last couple of years. Remember, he had to stop in Carolina and with the Rams last year. Uh, and he's getting a second chance. He was the first overall pick with Cleveland. I think, Cleveland could maybe think that maybe they made a mistake in that $250 million they're giving to Sean Watson. and Baker's kind of on a mini revenge tour, and I really appreciate all he's done. Todd Bowles also, I thought of him as maybe being a guy that could lose his job this year, just because they underperformed last year, and the team is going to have some cap issues. Who knows what the direction the team is going in? Maybe losing some of their starters. I mean, Mike Evans maybe going away. So a little interesting story that's going on in Tampa Bay, but they're going to be going into Detroit, and that crowd is going to be crazy. This team, Detroit, went into Tampa Bay and beat the Bucks earlier this year, 20-6. I think this game will be a little closer. I think Tampa Bay's offense has started to find ways to move the ball a little bit more effectively, but I think this game will be closer. But again, I'm taking the home team, and I think this will be Lions 23, Bucks 17. But I just feel like the Lions will have enough, and the Lions in the NFC Championship game. Crazy. But that's what I got. Go Lions.
Yeah. I do think this game could be decently close if the Bucks are able to play with the Lions and they're able to compete and consistently meet them with scores. But the Lions, their offense, I think they will play well, and I think they will score quickly, and they'll have big plays. And I don't think the Buccaneers' offense is going to do as well. So I do think the Lions at home will win and go into the championship. Bit weird seeing either the Lions or the Bucks in the championship, but this is how it's turned out, and um, I, the NFC is a weird conference.
Yes, weird conference. We thought it was a weaker conference. I guess we shouldn't be surprised. We have two 9-win teams in the divisional round based on the parity in the conference. The bulk of the good quarterbacks in the NFL right now are in the AFC, so I guess it shouldn't be too shocking. All right, the game that everybody wants to see. This is not necessarily a rivalry, but two teams that have matched up in the playoffs. So this will be the third time they've matched up in the last 5 years. Most notably, they met in the AFC Championship a few years ago, and of course, the great 13-second game, we'll call it, where the Bills had basically secured a win until Mahomes got into field goal position with 13 seconds. One of the worst coaching baffs of all time. Squib kick into prevent defense on two back-to-back plays, letting them kick a 48-yard field goal to tie the game and send it overtime for the Chiefs. So Chiefs are 2-0. Both those games, though, were in Kansas City. This is the first game in Buffalo in the division run. Weather will be poor again. Buffalo also beat Kansas City in the regular season, but their defense is even more banged up. Taylor Rapp now out, so down to like their fourth string safety. So with all that said, this is Patrick Mahomes' first true road playoff game, which is crazy for a guy that's been in 3 Super Bowls to say this is his first true playoff game. I'm taking the Chiefs. And until the Bills prove me wrong, until Kansas City is slayed, I'm taking the Chiefs. And it's mainly this. I think Andy Reid's going to have a game plan. I think their defense is going to play well enough. I think this game will be close. But I'm going to take the guy that's made the plays in the clutch time and time again in the playoffs. Give me Kansas City on the road, 26-21 over the Bills. And on their road to a 6th AFC Championship game.
This, I think this will be the closest divisional game. These teams.
Which means it'll be a blowout somehow because we're both predicting that. But yeah, go ahead.
this, these two teams are both very good. They have a lot of talent. Their offenses can certainly be special, and it's really tough to predict because I think it just comes down to who makes more mistakes and who makes bigger mistakes. And for me, I think Buffalo at home, if their offense is good, if the Chiefs' defense makes mistakes and the Buffalo offense capitalizes, Buffalo could score, and if the Chiefs' offense doesn't respond, I think Buffalo will hold on to the lead, and I do think Buffalo will make less mistakes and win the home playoff game to go to the AFC Championship.
Wow. Wowza. Wowza. Alrighty. Well, those are our predictions. Hope you have a great weekend watching the divisional round. We'll be back next week to preview the AFC and NFC championship games for the right to go to the Super Bowl. Hope you have a great weekend. And again, we'll see you soon.